Yep.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of 100% Football. I'm your host Dermot Brogan, and we have a lot to talk about on today's show. We've got a massively packed show. We've got Premier League review from the previous weekend to talk about, and we've also got the upcoming final round of European qualifiers to talk about. We're just going to start off with a Premier League review of the weekend's games. We're going to start with the Chelsea game, which, of course, Mourinho wasn't too impressed after the game. Chelsea went down 3-1 at home to Southampton. Johnny, Mourinho reacted very, very aggressively in that post-match interview. How do you think his players must be feeling after such an aggressive reaction from the manager?
Well, in terms of the game, it was a terrible result for Chelsea. Yeah, their home form's usually a big banker for them. They very rarely lose at home, never mind concede 3 goals. I think that's the first time under Mourinho they conceded 3 goals at home in the Premier League, so that in itself just shows the defensive lapse they're having at the back. It's a mystery how they're not playing John Terry. Best defender they have, and he's sitting on the bench. Branislav Ivanovic has been terrible as well. So, well, the post-match interview, it's terrible. Mourinho was all by himself. So, that was his interview was about a man who's severely under pressure, and I think he definitely knows it.
In terms of the actual game, but for me, I think Southampton fully deserved the victory. Ben, would you
Yep.
agree with that, or would you go along with the Mourinho's campaign against Chelsea verdict as he always does?
No, I would have to agree with you 100%, Dermot. I thought Southampton first half took a wee while to get into the game. Towards the start of the first half, started to create a lot of chances, and second half for me there was only one winner. I thought Graziano Pella, that man looks unplayable at the minute. His link-up play, strength, and then just the third finish for me, he's got to be one of the goals of the weekend. The way to touch and the ball across. But no, Southampton I think fairly deserved it. Chelsea's just really severely lacking in ideas and confidence in the minute. And now I think we know how very good how Mourinho is a team that when they are settled, they're well built and they don't create a lot of mistakes. Now I think we're going to see how well Mourinho actually is a manager. We're trying to deal with the situation and trying to get his team back on track.
Yeah, so we've got this upcoming international break now with all the players might go away and have some time to themselves to think about how bad they've been for Chelsea. Do you think that'll actually aid the squad, or do you think Chelsea will come back and still continue to play as poor as they have been? Johnny?
I think with Chelsea they can't get any worse. They've lost 4 games in the league there, and they lost in the Champions League. So I think it's going to be a bit up the arse technically that they need it. They can't honestly play any worse than they did on Saturday night. Truthfully, players like Hazard, Ivanovic, Zuma, for example, they're all confidence players, and they absolutely have none at the minute. It's a brutal state of affairs. They should come back. I think they'll comfortably finish in the top 4, but they'll need to start picking up points soon. In terms of the league, they're not going to win it. Lost too many points, and they still have some tricky fixtures ahead. So I expect them to come back, but it would need to be very soon.
Ben, would you go along with Johnny's verdict that Chelsea will still get a top 4 finish? I mean, they've started the season so poorly, and they've already got a lot of ground to pick up behind the teams that's in the top 4.
I think Chelsea will finish in the top 4. Whereabouts in the top 4, I don't know. I probably agree with John. I think they're too far behind already. They are free as it is.
Yeah.
But no, Chelsea's too good a side. You got players like Diego Costa and Fabregas and Hazard. Like them boys, they're going through the blip now, and they might even continue on after the break. We'll never know. But I think they're too good a side. They're basically going to have to grab themselves by the scruff of the neck and say, right, come on. Not even for the manager, but do it for themselves, because these are players that are big international players that stepped on the biggest stage. Have basically won the league at a canter last year, and well, I honestly think they'll turn it back, but where they'll finish in that top 4 for me is still a mystery yet. We'll see as the season goes on.
The most striking aspect for me is like the players in that team. They're all internationals. Like they're all good players, and they just honestly it looked on Saturday like they've never played with each other. Hazard, that third goal. Like last season, he wouldn't even have thought of passing that ball. He just ran down that byline, crossed it in, and it would have been a dangerous attack. But it's just I can't believe how bad Chelsea have done this season. And whether it's the manager, whether it's the lack of, it's unexplainable for Chelsea. And as I said before, they'll really need to up their game, otherwise they're going to find it very, very hard and win in silverware this season. I think, and I have to add this here as well. I think they're lucky their Champions League group is relatively easy. Porto away was definitely the toughest fixture, and realistically, they shouldn't have lost that game. They had enough in that game, from what I've read and watched a bit of highlights, to get a draw out of the game. So, but the most striking aspect of that game was Mourinho went there with a striker on the bench. So, 2-1 down, he couldn't change it, and I think that's a bit of arrogance as well. I think it was I think that was a statement to Lloyd Remy and Falcao here. Look, you're not performing. You're not even going to get on my bench, and I think that's a bit weird. But there you go. I think it's just typical Mourinho.
No, I agree, Johnny. I think for 100% Chelsea probably will ease through that group in the Champions League. But at the end of the day, in the league, I actually think I disagree with the two of you. I think Chelsea may struggle to get in the top four if they keep going the way they're going. The thing they have in their favour is a top-class manager like Mourinho, but at the end of the day, I think Spurs, maybe we'll get to this later, but Jurgen Klopp possibly taking over Liverpool, that could reinvigorate them, that could make spur them on, get them a top four spot, but I suppose we'll just have to see in the coming months how that plays out for those clubs. So we'll move on to Manchester City, and they had a big one on Saturday against Newcastle, 6-1, a fantastic game for any fantasy manager with Sergio Aguero on their team. Of course, these two lads had him as captain. I didn't have him in my team. That's the way it goes. I'm not well in this week fantasy league. What are you going to do?
You're miles behind.
I'm a good bit behind. I can forget about that prize, I think, for now.
Acres, you're an acres behind. Not even miles, it's acres.
You cover time for that fourth place trophy.
Martial never performed for me on Sunday, so what are you going to do? But lads, Aguero, 5 goals. I mean, he hasn't been all that brilliant this season, but he seems to have come back onto his own now. Ben, how would you respond to Aguero's fantastic performance against Newcastle?
He's different class. He's already like the best striker in that league by a country mile. Like I think there was like from his first goal to like his like fifth goal, he had like something like 14 touches for like that whole period. So like just shows you how like clinical a striker he is. Like the movement and everything. Like the first one, there's so many different types of goals. The first one where it was just that we flick in from, I think it was Otamendi's like corner or the cross from the corner, and then like the last one where like he took on, I think it was like Daryl Yama, and then spun him back inside and crawled right in the far corner. Like so, he's just different class. I think he's the only player in the Premier League that I think if you could give to a Barcelona, or Real Madrid, or a Bayern Munich would take him. Maybe not Bayern because Lewandowski's like is on a ridiculous form at the minute as well, but. Like if you said to Bayern Munich, would you take, or Barcelona, would you take Sergio Aguero? Like I honestly think they would take, or Real Madrid, because the two of them I think are crying out for an actual goal scorer at the minute.
I mean, City on the back of 2 devastating defeats over the last week or two. I mean, Johnny, do you think this game now will just give them the confidence to come back and go on a good run like ones again?
Well, unfortunately, I said a couple of weeks ago, I didn't see City losing 4 games, and look, they've won and lost 2. As Ben reminded me a couple of things, but I think that result, I think nearly Aguero scoring that many goals was nearly as a boost for City as winning the game was, because City, they haven't. I wouldn't say City have been majestic this season. They haven't, but I think, and that's really down to Aguero not scoring as many goals. But he's only the 5th player to score 5 goals in a game. And then Pellegrini substituted him, and then Boney missed the chance. I couldn't believe it. But all his goals were brilliant. He's the best out-and-out striker in that league by a mile. Nobody even comes close to him. No harm to City are a big club now, in my opinion. But I really do think he could go to like Madrid, Barcelona, and just fit in there 110%. He's clinical. What Ben said, you can argue against it. He's world class. Up front, different really.
He's definitely a world-class striker, and definitely worth getting in your fantasy team if you have the points for him. Which I don't.
I'm putting captain as well if you want.
Yeah, if only I had the brains used to, boys, that last week.
Indeed.
Oh God. But anyways, we'll move on. Well, they were playing Newcastle, and you actually thought when Newcastle went 1-0 up, Steve McClaren might be onto something here. Yeah. He might hold on for this victory, might grind one out, but it just didn't happen for them, and that put Steve McClaren under even more pressure. Yeah. So, how do you think Newcastle's going to continue this season now after that?
Go ahead, Ben.
I gotta say, like from watching the match today highlights, Newcastle in the first half actually played.
They should have been 3-0 up.
They played some really, really good stuff. Wijnaldum and Meterface. They give Otamendi and Mangala a decent test. I think Alan Shearer did a really good comparison. Like the first half, where they were really compact and solid, and they were snapping at the tackles, and then second half the centre halves were so narrow and together in the first. Like second half, you could basically driving like a freaking boat right through the two of them because they were that far apart, and like there was no compact, no nothing. But I think it's like when we did our first show, and like I said, I forget who they were playing. I think it was Watford they were playing, and I says like, what Newcastle's going to turn up, because the Newcastle that played West Ham and Watford were absolutely shocking. Then they went to, like, a couple of weeks before that, they went to Old Trafford, and they were that side that we saw in the first half against Manchester City, and then second half we saw the team that played against Watford and West Ham. So Newcastle's a strange one, but Newcastle I think give McLaren time, but how much time?
How much more time can you give him, because his results have been absolutely shocking so far this season?
You see, another thing is, one of the goals they scored in the first half this way for offside. It was a mile off at 1-0. It was onside, I think.
Oh, the Perez one.
I think it was onside. In terms of McLaren, it's Newcastle, a big club in my opinion, but it wouldn't be a club I'd want to go and manage. The fans I'd say are the best in the league up there with Liverpool. I'm not joking, they're brilliant. For a club of that size, they should be doing much better than what they are. A team like Newcastle, they should be finishing top half and getting a cup run, and then look, they'll need the League Cup to Sheffield Wednesday. So McLaren's bringing all on to himself. In terms of results, they've actually went to Old Trafford and got a draw. They drew with Chelsea, and they might have felt Aguero aside, and if they'd done well in the first half, they would have got something that they had. So I think McLaren, while the results have been bad, there's something there. You can just tell there's something there that he can nearly point to and say, look, we went to Old Trafford, got a draw. Played Chelsea, although that Chelsea was probably the worst performance I've ever seen from Chelsea. Got a draw. But you see, it's just results like Watford and teams around them that's going to kill them.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, the case of not being able to get his players pumped up for the games against the lesser teams, and he's able to get his players pumped up for the games against United, against Chelsea. Well, obviously not against Man City, the way that went.
No, I would honestly love to know what McLaren said to his team at half time. It must have been a great team talk.
That's just devastating for them and Newcastle fans alike, how that game went in the second half. But in terms of your predictions, lads, for Man City this season, can you see them going on to win the title? Or can you see maybe Arsenal, United around them challenging?
I said a couple of weeks ago, City won at a canter, and I'm not going against it. Aguero's back in form. De Bruyne's fit in there like a glove. You've David Silva, you've Sterling, you've Toure, Fernandinho. They're just too good. All over the park, they're very good. Although a wee bit worried about Otamendi. I've seen him in Champions League through the week. Not great, although he scored. But I thought defensively, not good. And Kolarov's been a bit hit or miss, but I think Zabaleta's now back, so that'll be a big plus for City. So I still think City will win the league and win it well.
Ben, would you go along with that?
Well, Dermot, they should win the league. They have the best. They have probably up there one of the best goalkeepers. Their centre half, Vincent Kompany, if he performs, is the best centre half in the league. Yaya Toure, we need to see the form he did 2 years ago, but Toure can turn on. David Silva, Aguero is by far the best striker in the league. De Bruyne. But it depends the mentality and the mindset of what Man City turn up. Johnny, I wouldn't have gone far with Johnny a couple of weeks ago and said, this team, I don't think this team will lose 4 or 5 games. They went in the space of 2 weeks and lost 2 games in this row. Yep. It depends what Man City turn up. Like, they were comfortable cruising against Spurs 2 weeks ago, and then as you say, Johnny, against McLaren said to his team when they were playing Man City, I wanted to know what Pellegrini has said to them when they were playing Spurs, because that second half performance was absolutely abysmal. Di Michelis, Otamendi, like 2 Argentinians, you thought the 2 of them could actually play together. The 2 of them looked like they had just been pulled out of the flipping crowd and said, "You are playing centre half." But no, Man City should win. I still think they'll win the league. Because they should be going on a run and just blitzing teams. But you never know. Arsenal, United, they might actually, I say just keep stumbling. The 2 of them might get to Christmas and they're running right there and go, you know what, we could do this against the February, then against the Easter, and if they're in around there, you never know who can win the league. But I would probably still go with City. I think I'll still go with City at this moment in time.
Yep, agreed.
I'd have to agree with that. I can't see any teams around them stopping them, because the form of Arsenal and United is just so inconsistent at the current moment. And with that, we'll move on to those 2 teams who played on Sunday, 4 o'clock kickoff. Unfortunately for me and Johnny, I'm not so willing to talk about this, but Ben insisted, so I'm going to have to cover it.
It's in my contract.
That's in his contract, as he says. Arsenal 3, Manchester United 0. Kills me to say it. I mean, Arsenal have had a terrible record against us the last few years, and they went and pumped us absolutely. I mean, that opening 15-20 minutes was devastating for United, and I just can't believe how bad we started. We started with such a high line, and the fullbacks just couldn't cope with the pace of Arsenal, I think. And 20 minutes it was over. Johnny, how would you react to just tactically, the way Van Gaal set up, and the way Arsenal just came flying out of the blocks?
I think if you're playing Schweinsteiger and Carrick in the midfield, it needs to be in a 3. Each Schneider and with them, because honestly, there's more pace in me than there is in them two centre midfielders, and that's saying something. The two, I was chatting these in the first half, and yes, the fullbacks weren't great, and the centre halves weren't great, but I really do blame that defeat on the two midfielders. They were terrible. They offered absolutely no protection. Our defence, and I think I read there that apparently players told Van Gaal they wanted to play in a counter-attack system. Van Gaal said no, and that's what I've read. So could be right, could be wrong, but no, I think in the same way as United were bad, Arsenal were brilliant. And I tweeted after a minute and a half a goal was coming, and bang, there's 2 in 2 minutes. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Arsenal for the way they played after getting beat by Olympiacos. Big victory for Arsenal, but I wouldn't get too carried away. United have a small squad now. Honestly, it'd be 19, 20 players, not a big squad when you think about it. I knew a defeat was coming eventually, but at the same time, give Arsenal a wee bit of credit too. Ozil back seemed to be playing well, as Ben might agree now. Sanchez scored a couple of fantastic goals. So that's it. You get one of them days where your whole team just doesn't show up. If Martial had scored that one just before half time, it might have made the second half a bit interesting, but Arsenal didn't really have to go to second gear the second half. So.
This is the part I'm dreading right now, Ben. Ben, what's your verdict on that absolute pumping for United? I know you're going to have a few opinions on it.
I just as it's a bit like Man City, the same as we're a bit like Man City. Not the I don't think we're as good quality wise, but it's what team turns up. Like Tuesday night, we were absolutely abysmal, and I think we deserved to lose the game on Tuesday night. And then the first half was absolutely just like we were like a Formula One car, which was like hit the button for go, and away we went, and we were pressing high up the pitch. Like we always are a team that was set back, let teams come on to us, but we were pressing high on the go. I just couldn't believe the team I was watching. Like Walcott up front was absolutely. I thought Walcott had one of his best games in an Arsenal shirt. Yeah. I thought he gave Chris Swan, Daley Blind absolute torrid times, pressing them high up the pitch. Mesut Ozil. Finally, we have saw Mesut Ozil. We have seen Mesut Ozil in a big game deliver for once. Yes, I did put a Facebook status out in February saying that his performances needed to improve. They have improved, but this is the type of performance I want to see from Mesut Ozil week in week out, where he gets the assist, he gets the goal, he puts a stamp on the game and says, "I'm going to take this game by the scruff of the neck." And then Alexis Sanchez, well, what can you say about that, man? Just unbelievable. But yes, I've got to say, I don't understand Louis van Gaal's logic as well. I have to agree with you, Johnny. Morgan Sterling, I think that's what you need Morgan Sterling in there for. I don't understand why Schweinsteiger was trying to... Is Schweinsteiger, he was trying to play number 10, or was he trying to play a deep line play? Because every time he didn't know where to go and drop on Cazorla, or he didn't know where to stay with Carrick and do it. But Sterling and just sitting there. But... I thought we were absolutely superb. The second half probably impressed me as most in the first, because usually when we go in that type of match, we try to go gung ho and go for like a 4th, a 5th, a 6th. This time we were like, right, we'll let you have the ball, we'll get into a 4-5-1, and we'll make it hard, we'll sit in, and then we'll try and hit you on the break. I thought Wenger's tactics were actually pretty good on Sunday. I know Wenger's not really renowned for his tactics, but dropping Ramsey in there when you did go to that free in midfield with Fellaini, Carrick, and Schweinsteiger in there. And even just sacrificing also and telling them, we go out to the wing, we'll play free in the middle of the park, and then I thought it was a well-rounded performance. I thought we were very good, but as you say, Johnny, I'm trying not to get carried away with it, because I probably know there's more than likely chance where we should go and beat Watford in 2 weeks' time, and we'll probably drop points. So I'm just trying to keep the feet in the ground.
Yeah, that's all you can do now, isn't it, as an Arsenal fan? Keep your feet in the ground, but you leapfrog Manchester United into second place, so you're definitely going to be happy with that. In terms of how the two teams now continue on with this season, Arsenal obviously doing very poor in the Champions League. United with a very morale-boosting victory in midweek against Wolfsburg, a game which means Johnny were at, coincidentally. But how do you think these two teams will actually fare for the remainder of the season? Can you see Arsenal and United maybe posing a bit of a challenge to Man City with Aguero back in form? Johnny?
I think it's going to be tough for both teams because City, I think, are just a level ahead. But I can't see any reason why United or Arsenal can't stay up there at the top of the league. You know, we're two good teams. I think with United, I think they're a wee bit weak in certain areas. Like their cover for the full-back positions are absolutely abysmal. Ashley Young, great player when he's on form, crossing the ball in. And Valencia has been there for ages, but he's finished in my opinion. But they're not full-backs. It's not fair on either of them. I think in terms of up front, you only really have Martial. Young fella, you can't really expect too much on him. Started very well, won the PFA Player of the Month for September, and he's fit in there very good. But you know, it's going to be because he's that young. There's going to be a performance we think, oh my god, we've got a player in our hands, and there's going to be something we think, what's the fuss all about? In terms of number 10, Rooney's got. I don't think I can say last time Rooney had a good game. It's been really poor. So I think if United are to maintain a challenge, they'll have to be very steady until January, and maybe try and get a striker in just to help up front because there's nothing there. Martial's there, but there's nothing there in terms of a replacement or someone up there to help him.
I mean, the form of Rooney is very concerning for me because he had his wish at the start of the season of playing up front before we actually brought in Martial, and he done absolutely nothing up there. Yeah. And now we brought Martial in. He's playing his number 10 role. He still can't do anything there. He's still been so poor since Martial came in that number 10 role. So I think that's very concerning for Manchester United, and I think that'll have to be addressed in January if we want to keep. I mean, like, I'd love to stick Ander Herrera in number 10 again because he's had a couple of good games there this season, but Van Gaal just doesn't seem to.
I don't think Van Gaal really likes him.
No, which is a big shame because he's a very talented player.
He's a good player.
When you see his stats from last season, his goals and assists, I mean, absolutely brilliant for a midfielder. But, Ben, how do you think Arsenal will finish this season? Do you think you will actually manage to challenge City, or do you think would you be happy with a third or fourth place finish?
I honestly think, Dermot, this is the time. This is if we don't win the league this year. I want us to go on that. I want us to go on that run and be like, I want to go to the end of March, start of April, and go, yes, we're in a title race. Yes, we might actually have a chance to win this. Last year, people started to get their hopes up when we went on that, like, I think it was 8-9 run where we won every game, and people were like, oh, Arsenal might come from. But there was never really any chance. Chelsea had that league wrapped up about January time, so they were always safe. I want to go into April, start of April, and going, right, let's go, 6 games, come on, 6 big games to try and push this. It all depends, I think, how we do in Europe. If we lose to Bayern Munich, which I don't think is any big disgrace, because Bayern Munich, I think, are probably the best team in the world right at this moment of time. Their football is superb. Some of the Lewandowski's on form, Douglas Costa's on form, Muller's on form. So if we get beat, which probably could happen, probably more than likely will happen. I don't want to be going into the Europa League. I don't want to be going into playing Thursday, Sunday, because it's not good in the players and it's not good in the club. Because if you're going somewhere to like Ukraine, for example, like, you're not getting back into the early hours of Friday morning. Then you're probably training a wee minute, training a couple of hours on the Friday. Lack of preparation for the Saturday, and then if you're away, then you have to travel down to the other team Saturday night. So I don't want to be in it. If we're going to do that and we get in the Europa League, play the squad players. But I would like us to, if we don't get through the last 16 Champions League, finish bottom. It's really bad saying this, because I think, as no matter how many people disagree with me on this, I think we are a big club. We are a big club, and we shouldn't be finishing bottom of a group of the Champions League with Dynamo Zagreb and Olympiacos. But if we finish bottom, just basically go concentrate on the league, go for the league. Let's give the fans an actual real run, because we actually have some cracking players. I think Theo Walcott's an underestimated player. I think Theo, when he gets one-on-one position, I think Theo actually scored 15-20 goals this season. That's how much I rate Theo. I think he's a better player than Giroud. Alexis Sanchez is, I think, easily could get you 20 goals. Mesut also, if he is on form. Aaron Ramsey, Santi Cazorla, they are class players, but we need to just get on a run and be consistent. Consistent is our main problem. But there's no reason why we can't. But we just need to. I don't think of May. Think of get to Christmas and be in that race. Then say mid-February. Then the end of March. If you're in there at the end of March, start of April, anybody has a chance to win the league.
But Ben, what happens if you finish bottom of the group and you don't win a title challenge? That's definitely a field season. Has to
Oh,
be
it's a,
from.
it's a failed season, John. It's a failed season. He had the money.
But do you think Wenger's going to take a chance of saying, "Look, we'll finish bottom of the group here, but we're going to go and try and win the title"?
Oh, I think if he finishes bottom, he will just put all his eggs in one basket and he will go for the league. Like that's like I think as you saw in season 8 when he didn't play fair check, he was always I think as bad as what because he should be playing your best team in Champions League. Playoffs being the FA Cup and Carling Cup or League Cup or whatever you want to call that cup. Play Ospina. Play Ospina. Ospina for me is not a bad keeper. He's not the world class keeper. He's a good keeper. But he still should be dealing with corners coming in and catching. He shouldn't be drawing across the line. But he was obviously prioritising Manchester United on Sunday. I think he wants to go on the league. I think he wants the league. We want the league. He wants the league as well as the players want the league. And my goodness, I hope they want the league. But
I mean, Arsenal have never won the Champions League, which is one thing I don't understand. Is the way he seems to disrespect teams in Europe. We saw it last year against Monaco, and we've seen it now a couple of times where he's dropped Peter Cech for a couple of games. I mean, it's backfired on him all 3 times, all 3 occasions. So you just have to wonder. I mean, surely most Arsenal fans would love to go on a good Champions League run, get to a semi-final, final of a Champions League, like you did that year 2006.
I'm going to sound completely mad here, but I want United to go and run absolutely everything. League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, I want them just to. I just want them. They're paid well enough. They got Team United play against Middlesbrough in the League Cup or Ipswich League Cup. That was as good as United team they're going to get. Honestly, I honestly think Van Gaal's wanted to win that competition.
Yeah, I think Van Gaal wants a trophy in the cabinet for And
I think a few years ago United didn't win very much, and then they won the League Cup I think against Spurs, and then after that there was just trophy. And I think Van Gaal could be saying, look, that's basically a United team since he's taken over. Look, here's a bit of success. Now go and hunger. Now use that hunger to go and win the league the following year. I think if United can finish, put a title challenge, go to the Champions League group, and win one of the cups, I think that's a good season for United.
I think in any world, Johnny, I think every football fan, like not your middle teams, but the Chelsea, Man City, United, Arsenal, every fan wants to be winning Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, but
it doesn't happen like that.
It doesn't happen. Like if you're going to put all your effort into every single competition that you play, right? United played. I think like Rooney played, right? I'm just using Rooney as an example. Right? He played that. He scored against Ipswich. Then he played against Sunderland. Then he played against Wolfsburg, and then he played Arsenal. Right? He is a fit player. He can get up and down that pitch, but that is all. If Van Gaal doesn't use them right, then that's going to cause burnout to many a player. But that I want. Don't get me wrong. I want Wenger to be going right. Go for the League Cup. Go for the Premier League. Go for the Champions League. If he has to prioritise, yes, I go Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup. But I want to be doing well on everything. But I think now it's just we're now dealing on the facts of he took Dinamo Zagreb lightly because he changed half the team for that one. Then he changed the goalkeeper Monreal and Aaron Ramsey for the Olympiacos game. Don't get me wrong, they don't sound big players, but for me they are big players. Nigel Monreal, I think, has been probably our most consistent player this season. He's the guy that I look and we go, right, that's a 7 out of 10. I think he's got the same quality as Dennis Irwin, because Dennis Irwin I think was named the 7 out of 10 man by Alex Ferguson. But I just know what I'm going to get with Nigel Monreal every week is a very good defensive performance. Aaron Ramsey I think gives you that energy in the middle of the park. When he did come on on Tuesday night, he gave you that drive, he gave you that wee bit of impetus that we lacked in the game. So, but I think if we go out, we go out. I don't really want to be. If we got to the stage where we go into the Europa League, play the fringe players, and then if we got to, like, say, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, well, then throw the big players in and let's go and win the thing. But it might sound harsh because the fringe players have got you to that far, but like if you're on the cups of winning a trophy, you may as well throw the big boys in for the last couple of games and try and win the thing. But I honestly want a title run this year. I want a title run because it's been 2004 was last time. That's going to be 12 years when 2016 comes around, and I think that's too long a time for a club such as ours.
Yeah, well, Liverpool fans might disagree with you. I mean, they've been waiting 26 years.
Cool's been waiting a long time.
They're
Here, Tony, I
So,
thought you might have been a Liverpool fan when you saying Liverpool were the best fans in the league, and the best fans in the league.
yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised to hear that one.
Good fans,
Some
you can admit
brutal
that.
Mr. McNabb there.
If you're good fans, you can admit that. Like, it doesn't bother me. Admit that. The fans are brilliant.
All right, lads. So we had a lengthy discussion there about our favourite teams and how good and bad they are. So we'll move on now to the Merseyside derby. Liverpool-Everton at Goodison Park ended 1 each. Liverpool were, I think, a wee bit fortunate to actually hold on and get the draw on Sunday because Everton absolutely battered them that second half. Ben, how would you judge that match on like Liverpool's side? I mean, Brendan Rodgers just went and got sacked about 3 or 4 hours later. Do you think that was totally called for, or do you think maybe he didn't deserve it?
Well, I'm kind of in the boat, Dermot, where I actually think Brendan Rodgers is a good manager. I actually think Brendan Rodgers is a very good manager, but there's a time when you kind of like do damage to yourself. And when he first started in 2012, I think he said the quote of like, "Judge me after 3 years." Well, we're now judging him after 3 years, and apart from the year where they were, I honestly believe they should have won the league. They were on such a form from January onwards where they were absolutely amazing to watch. Like, I'm an Arsenal fan, but like that year I just wanted to watch Liverpool. Liverpool was Suarez, Sturridge, Coutinho, Gerrard. That team was absolutely amazing. And then you sell Suarez, you sell Sterling, Gerrard goes, and you don't replace them. Like, you bring like Ricky Lambert, Markovic, Christian Benteke, like Adam Lallana, they're B plus standard players. They're not your Luis Suarez's and your Daniel Sturridge's.
Yeah.
And Rodgers kind of like made a rod for his own back, and he's this year he started with like a 4-2-3-1, then he switched to 4-3-3, then he's playing like 4-3-1-4-2. He has Danny Ings up front, he's Benteke up front, he rushed Sturridge back. Liverpool never seemed to have made progress from that. Their team just, when you talk about spine, there's no spine in that Liverpool team. You look at the goalkeeper, the centre half, the centre midfielder. Like, if you've got James Milner playing in centre midfield, don't get me wrong, I think James Milner's a very good footballer. I think he can pass the ball well. But like, James Milner's not going to be out battling like I know Schweinsteiger had a bad game on Sunday, but like Schweinsteiger, your Matic, your Fabregas, your Yaya Toure, like, come on, it's James Milner. and like Liverpool, every year Liverpool should be beating Everton, and Everton are now the most dominant team in Merseyside because they've got a manager that knows what he's doing. He's got the players, you look, John Stones, Tim Hard, Lukaku, Bartley, Delafeu, they're good players. Like, they're just probably as good as Liverpool, and Liverpool's just a shambles. They really, really are.
I mean, well, for me, I think what's very ironic about that is Brendan Rodgers a few years ago came out and said, after Spurs sold Gareth Bale and they went and kind of wasted all this money on average players, I mean, he goes and does exactly the same thing with the Suarez money. He doesn't replace him whatsoever. He replaces him with absolute garbage. And, I mean, for me, that's absolutely cost Liverpool big time. I mean, you have to say Rodgers, a decent manager, but would he have finished second, challenge for the title without Luis Suarez? I mean, it's debatable. I don't think he would have been anywhere near, to be honest, because Suarez was just absolutely fantastic that season. But Johnny, would you go along with Ben's verdict on Liverpool that they've kind of declined even more under Brendan Rodgers?
I think there's no doubt about it. When he came in for Swansea, he done a brilliant job. I think the main problem is not replacing Suarez. He was the world-class player they had. They haven't replaced him. You know, they brought in Balotelli. You know, I'd have done a better job in Balotelli. Ricky Lambert, there's Origi. Like, the list of strikers they have is appalling. Sturridge, he's never fit. Benteke, he'll score 4 goals in like 3 games, and then he'll look the next 5 games and not hit a barn door. They just haven't replaced Suarez, and that's just a fact. In terms of Gerrard, I never would have let him go. I think that's I think Gerrard's as important to Liverpool off the pitch as he was on the pitch. Would you have seen Fergie getting rid of Scholes, Giggs, or Ferdinand whenever he was at the club? Absolutely no chance. I think, you know, the main problem I have with Rodgers second is why would Liverpool let him spend 80 odd million in the summer to then let him go 7 or 8 games down the line? You know, he spent loads of money this summer and he's not going to reap the rewards from it. I think the writing was on the wall. But it's just a shame. I don't mind Brendan Rodgers. I think he's a good manager. The fact he's from Northern Ireland probably helps that for me anyway. But I think Carragher hit the nail on the head in Super Sunday. Liverpool's mentality about like Spurs. He's right. Liverpool just sacking managers left, right, and centre. Like there's Roy Hodgson. He barely lasted a year. Although some of the players he signed were Paul Konchesky. Like I honestly wouldn't take him. But I wouldn't take him to a Bushmills United, and I'm not exaggerating. No, it's just a weird one, and it seems Jurgen Klopp's going to come in, and I think Jurgen Klopp will do well at Liverpool. Well, he's got a lot of work to do. He signed players like Kagawa and Lewandowski. Players that didn't do much at the previous clubs, and nurtured them into good players. I think Liverpool have a few good players in there, but they're just not showing the full potential. I think Mignolet he's a decent keeper. I wouldn't put him in the world class bracket. I think he's a decent keeper. At the back, I think Saka's a good defender. I don't know how he didn't get more games for Liverpool. I swear, I think he's a brilliant defender. Lovren's terrible, Touré's terrible, so he really has to rejuvenate the back four. In terms of midfield, I think Milner worked hard, but he's not going to take it to the next level. And then I think Lallana is a good player, but I think the transfer fee was a bit inflated for him. And I do also think Liverpool are missing a wee bit of Henderson in the middle. He works hard. He can fairly pass the ball. He's got an eye for goal. Coutinho, what can you say? He hasn't really done any of the form that he's had at the end of the last season. Scored a winner against Stoke, I think, first game of the season, or not there. He got sent off. And the one against Norwich when he was 1-on-1 with the keeper, he was square. I think it was the Ings, and he shot. Don't understand it. Roberto Firmino has been really disappointing. I reckon he would go in the summer. He hasn't done anything. And then up front, I think Ings is a good player. I really do. I don't think he's not top 4 star or anything like that there, but I do. He's got 3 goals, I think, in his last 3 games, something like that there. He's got a decent return. He took his goal away on Saturday. I know he couldn't have missed, but he done well to get into that position just to head the ball in. But I think when Klopp comes in January, it's going to be a big month for him. And one thing I don't understand Liverpool is this transfer committee. I think when you're a manager, you join a club, you sign the players you want, you sell the players you don't want, and you move forward like that there. I don't understand that transfer committee. To me, I think it's just a load of balls. And but the other thing, finally, the thing is, I don't understand the players that Rodgers got rid of, the likes of Markovic, the likes of Luis Alberto, Iago Aspas, teams like he's got rid of them, the teams in Spain and Turkey. They are all playing very well for the clubs. I think Markovic is doing very well in Turkey. Aspas, he scored 2 or 3 against Barcelona the other week. And I've read reports that Alberto's doing well. Balotelli scored a cracking free kick in his debut, so maybe maybe it just was a bit of bad luck or whatever, or maybe Rodgers got rid of them prematurely. But I do honestly think that Klopp has got a big job in his hands.
You have to wonder if Jurgen Klopp will be trusted with all this money to buy players. I mean, the way they trusted Brendan Rodgers and the way they how much did they spend in the summer? About 70-80 million?
80 million.
Yeah, and they give him, 8 games in the league and they sack him. I mean, Jurgen Klopp's going to be saying, right, I want money to spend, but you have to give me time to work with the squad. I know maybe Rodgers said the same. He said, give me 3 years. Well, I mean, he's had 3 years and, had that great season, but obviously we mentioned that he sold his best player and it all went downhill from there. But I agree, Johnny. He's got a big job in his hands to lift that club up because they're a club in massive crisis right now. I mean, Liverpool fans are going to be thinking we should be challenging for the league, never mind top 4, the league every season, because in terms of their stature as a club. Yeah. But I mean, Klopp getting the job will be a big coup for them because he's linked with clubs all over Europe. I'd love him at United. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Van Gaal is probably the man to take us forward for now, but in time, I think Klopp will be a great manager in England.
When Van Gaal goes at the end of the 2016-17 campaign, it'll be I want Ancelotti. Well, the only thing is with Ancelotti, there's no longevity with him. We'll be there for 2 years and see you there, lads. I'm away here. So
yeah, but he seems to win everything. He seems to win stuff in every club he goes to.
Brilliant with Madrid. He won that Decima with Madrid, and then they get rid of him the following year. See Real Madrid. Another job I wouldn't take. You're only there for 6 months and you get a nice payoff. Actually, I would take that job because I'd probably get sacked.
Perez is an absolute dictator. I mean, anyone working under him, do that at your own peril.
Get you at Bushmills.
They probably sack me and then I get 10 million in my back pocket. So I'll apply. Here, I'm going to put in my CV footy manager honours and then if they get the job.
fair enough, lads. It's Liverpool cover. In terms of Everton, they played very well, but they just couldn't grind out that victory on Sunday. How do you think they'll fare this year? Do you think they'll finish above their Merseyside rivals, Ben?
So go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I don't think they will. I think Klopp will be alright. In terms of Everton, hit or miss, but I think they need the fullbacks back. I think Baines and Coleman are the best two, sided defenders you're going to get in the league. Galloway, I think Browning with the two fullbacks didn't do too bad, but they're not international players, obviously, for their age. I think that boy Munoz Fore done very well at the back, along with Jack Elton. So I think they're grand at the back. John Stones, he's brilliant. He'll be at United, City, Chelsea within 2 years. Unbelievable. He actually, the biggest compliment I can give him is he reminds me of Rio Ferdinand. That's the big, he's brilliant. Like, in my opinion, Rio Ferdinand's the best centre half I've ever seen on the ball. He's like another midfielder, really, because he's that good and calm. In terms of up front, Lukaku, he's like Benteke to me. He'll go 4 or 5 games where he can't miss, and then 4 or 5 games you think, what the hell is going on there? Stephen Naismith, I think, is very underrated. And, and then they've got Runa Kone. He seemed to be doing better than he had a bad injury and everybody signed, but he seems to be settling in well. And you mentioned it, Dermot. Delafeu was a good player as well, and Ross Barkley seems to be being more hit than the miss this season. So Everton have a nucleus of a good team, but a squad. Like Everton 1-11 on paper is pretty good, but it's a squad. It's a squad game now, football.
I mean, Everton. I agree. I think Everton are the kind of team that they look like they're going to be absolutely brilliant, and then all of a sudden they sell maybe 2 or 3 of their best players, and it's back to square one. If they just had that longevity with their players, I think they'd definitely be challenging up there, top 6 every year easily.
I think they've done well to hold on to the likes of Coleman for so long. But I reckon that the John Stones affair is going to turn into like a Lescott of a few years ago. I think if United were to make a statement with him, it would be the same. John Stones, I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, that would certainly be a big statement of intent from all those clubs if they tried to sign a player like John Stones. But we'll move on, lads, to the other Premier League games just very quickly. We'll go over the results. Saturday we had Palace 2, West Brom 0. Fairly comfortable Palace, lads. How do you see those two teams faring this season, Ben?
Palace could challenge top 6. Palace, good side. Blasey, Cabaye, there's Mulford Saha. Scott Dann, I think, is a good player. I think Palace could challenge for Europa League players. West Brom will probably end up last year. They'll not get relegated, but they'll not get relegated, but they'll not be like top 10. They'll be Tony Pulis just.
I think Tony Pulis team just table lie there. Job done.
Job done.
He thinks.
Would agree with that.
And then we had Aston Villa, another defeat for Tim Sherwood, who must be under increasing pressure right now, losing at home to Stoke. I mean, that's definitely a victory Stoke needed, but a defeat that Aston Villa most certainly didn't need. Jonathan, do you think Tim Sherwood will be feeling the pressure right now at Villa Park?
Well, Stoke were the first team on my bet slip. I thought they were a great price. I think you were at my house a couple of weeks ago, Dermot, and I fancied Stoke against Bournemouth. And I think ever since that they've just kicked on. Stoke are a good team. I like them. I would never back against them. I think the likes of Shaqiri is a good player. Jeff Cameron seems to be okay. Bojan, Arnautovic is hit or miss, and Juve. They've got a good squad there. A really good win for them. In terms of Aston Villa, in my opinion, they've signed far too many players. They signed about 12 or 13 players. How are you going to get them to gel? As quick. I expect Stoke to finish top 10, although they've got a bit of work to do. In terms of Villa, they'll stay up, but just about. It wouldn't surprise me if Sherwood get the sack. But I do think I know Ben's saying there, but I do think Villa will just stay up and no more.
Ben, I'm guessing you're thinking Aston Villa are definitely going to get the drop this year.
I just don't see how anybody can think that team will stay up. Like, apart from maybe the Rudy Gustave goals, like Rudy Gustave's not going to get you 15 goals a season, might get 10, but like. And Sherwood's never been in a relegation battle. You can't really tell me like last year he came in and was in a relegation battle, because he came in from like mid-February, and like you have to do it over a course of a season. Like Villa, I just don't see how Villa can stay up, because they can't keep a clean sheet, they can't score goals. So like
losing the spine of their team hasn't helped. Like, why they never offered Ron Vlaar a new deal or Weller? I don't know if they did and he rejected it, but you're taking out Vlaar, you're taking out Delph, and you're taking out Benteke. I still think they'll be alright. There'll be teams in there that I think Villa scrape a few results.
I think Villa are the kind of team. They have the experience of previous years. Of they're a big club. On their day, like the Villa Park's a big stadium. They have a big fan base. I mean, they're definitely a Premier League club. That's what I think is the only reason they're going to stay up. Otherwise, players-wise, manager-wise, I just don't think they're good enough. I would agree with Ben that way in that sense, but I just think Villa, their fans and their experience will help them stay through. I think, but it'll be very, very tight. We'll move on very quickly here, lads. Bournemouth won, Watford won. You could argue a relegation battle going on there, but how do you think those two teams will fare this year? Watford started quite brightly. Bournemouth, a little bit here and there.
I think the one thing that surprised me about Watford is I was looking up to see like the best defenses in the league. Watford are actually with Arsenal and City and stuff. I think they've only conceded 7 goals. Like that's not bad for like a promoted team that have just come up to the Premier League. I think Watford are like they don't score many, but you don't see them get hammered like 2-3-0 every week. I think Watford will surprise a lot of people. I like the manager Kiko Sanchez Flores. I think he's a good manager. Bournemouth on the other hand, I like Eddie Howe, but I think when you come to the Premier League, I think you just have to sometimes you just have to kind of give it your principles as a manager. You can play that attacking football against sides that are in around you, but if you go to Emirates, Old Trafford, Etihad, you can't really I think Bournemouth play City next, and if Bournemouth go and just play 4-4-2, City will absolutely City will wipe them off the park. So, but I think they have big injuries. I think Max Gradle and Callum Wilson's a really big miss for them. Yeah. Glenn Murray, Glenn Murray will get you goals, but he doesn't have the pace to get in behind teams like Wilson or Gradle does. So I think this could be a big struggle for Bournemouth this year.
Yeah. Callum will definitely a big miss for Bournemouth as well. But Jonathan, can you see Bournemouth staying up, or do you think them going down is definitely confirmed already?
I think Bournemouth will go down, but they'll go down fighting. I think Sunderland will go down. Whether a new manager comes in or not, I just think they're a brutal team. And I think I'd put Bournemouth in there too. But in terms of a third one going down, I just don't know. I think Callum Wilson's a big blow to him. Glenn Murray, I think, is a good footballer. He's worked hard, and he missed a penalty. If Borges didn't make that mistake and Murray talks away that penalty, you're talking a comfortable home win there for Bournemouth. It's just that the same little things that you need in the Premier League to stay up, and they just didn't get it on Saturday. I like the way Bournemouth play. In terms of Ben saying, they should change their principles how they play football. They should to an extent, but I think it would be pretty weird if they went and sat back and the players they have. I just think they'll go down. I just don't think they've enough. In terms of Watford, I quite like their manager as well, and they've got players up front. They'll get you a goal, like Gallo and Deeney. They'll score goals, and as defensively minded as Ben would point out, he mentioned about their lack of goals in the against column. So. I think Watford will be down there as well, near relegation, but I do think they'll just be okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bournemouth will struggle now, especially with their star striker gone, and I think Watford will definitely have the quality up front to mount a challenge to stay up. And I think they will be safe. I think it'll be tight, but I think they'll be safe. They might be scrapping with Aston Villa down there to stay up. But then we had Norwich, who started the season fairly well, but they slipped to a home defeat against Leicester, who've been flying this season, the likes of Mahrez in great form, and Jamie Vardy. Johnny, how high do you think this Leicester team can actually go? Because they've surprised so many people this season with their form and their amazing football. But can they keep playing like this every week?
It's an interesting question. There's some start, and Ranieri probably can't imagine what the hell is going on. They've good players there. Morgan's a good defender. Albrighton's a good midfielder, and then you've got Vardy and Ogasaki and Ajoa. Two of them three aren't going to start every week, but they'll get you goals. It's a mental squad there. It's a mental squad they're assembling, and you're forgetting about Kramaric as well. So they definitely have a lot of attacking threat up there. No, I don't think they'll keep it up. The big problem with Leicester is they're not keeping clean sheets. Ranieri joked in the press conference that the first clean sheet they get, the whole team will get pizza. So there you go. I don't think they'll keep up, but I do think they'll finish top 10. I think they'll finish 9th or 10th. In terms of Norwich, I like the way they're playing. Good players as well. Robbie Brady's good. They've got threat up front, and they've got Houlihan. He seems to be playing very well at the minute. I still think they'll be down the bottom of the league as well. But interesting to see how they get on as well. Alex Neil's very inexperienced at that level. You need to remember, but he seems to be doing okay. I would think Norwich will just stay up. I think Leicester will finish top 10.
Ben, would you agree with Johnny's estimation that Leicester can mount a top 10 finish?
Oh, 100%. Ranieri, I think Ranieri couldn't have dreamed the start that he's had. I think they know they got. I know we beat them 5-2, but I think they created there was 42 odd chances in that match, and they had 15 of them. So it shows you they are willing to attack. They will get goals. Vardy's having the season of his life at the minute. Johnny said there's good players now. Mare is a good player. They got good Morgan and Hoof. I like to see them keep a bit more clean sheets and a wee bit. I think that's where they missed that Nigel Pearson kind of element where I think he would have kind of instilled that wee bit of I want a clean sheet. I think Ranieri wants a clean sheet as well. I think every manager wants a clean sheet. But I think they'll start to get them. Norwich I think will be grand. I like Alex Neil. Johnny had a nail on the head. I think they're good players. I think they've Nathan Redmond, Houlihan. There's Cameron Jerome. I know Kyle Lafferty's not the standard, but if you need to throw him on for the last 20 minutes, he could probably get you a goal. That boy they have from Dynamo Kiev. I can't say his name. He scored the weekend, so they'll be grand. I think Leicester could 8th, 9th. Watford, Norwich. I think we're going to say. I think Norwich could be 13th, 14th.
Yeah, I mean, you boys were saying about Leicester, they should be looking for clean sheets. I mean, the game's about scoring goals. You score more goals than another team, you're going to win the game. You're going to get your 3 points.
If you don't keep clean sheets, then the other team scores, then you're not winning the games.
Yeah, but if you score more goals, you win your games.
They're not going to. I mean, it's not going to happen all the time.
I mean, I do agree. I mean, the strikers aren't going to score 3-4 goals a game every game. This season, that's going to come to a halt at some stage, and they'll have to definitely tighten up defensively when that day comes. But no, I agree. I think Leicester definitely will mount a top 10 challenge if they can keep this form going. Definitely, they'll slip a wee bit. I think they're not going to stay where they are now in the table, but they'll slip a wee bit, maybe down to 10th, 11th, maybe even 8th, 9th. And I think Norwich maybe 14th, 15th. I think that'll be a good season for them. Alex Neil, as Johnny said, a very inexperienced player at this level, so that'll be a good season for them to stay up in any capacity. And we had then Sunderland, West Ham, 2-2. I mean, Sunderland again grew a 2-goal lead against West Ham, and then of course the manager Dick Avick had walked straight after the game almost. Johnny, what exactly is going wrong at Sunderland? I mean, they've got some decent players there, and they just can't seem to perform.
I mentioned earlier, I think they'll go down, and I do think they'll go down. They don't score many. They concede a lot. In terms of blowing a 3-0 lead, they were cruising at 3-0, and then Barini missed a great chance. They make it 3-0, and that there would have killed that game off. You look at their front three: Lenz, Barini, Defoe. You think on paper they're 3 pretty good players. That Lenz goal, by the way, was unbelievable. Advocate had tears in his eyes. It was that good. But the red card totally changed that game. Why he went into that tackle, I swear, there mustn't be any brain cells in that man's head. The goal from Jenkinson just before half time was, I think, a killer blow, and you could just tell that the goal was coming. But Jelavic missed a great chance to make it 3-2. But I think when you look back at the season, I think Sunderland might think, despite being 2-0 up, that was a point gained because of West Ham's strong performances on the road. In terms of who I would bring in for that job, I think it's suited for Big Sam to keep them up. But if he was at Newcastle, he might need to board up his house with a few bits of cardboard and whatever. Actually, you know what? Just don't even have any windows in your house. Just brick them all up. But no, I think Big Sam would be good at that job.
I mean,
it's like, as I said earlier, I wouldn't want the Newcastle job, nor would I want the Sunderland job. So.
Do you actually think that, I mean, Sunderland fans would welcome, as Jose Mourinho said a few years ago, I mean, a manager that plays 19th century football? Would they want a manager like that?
Well, if it kept in the Premier League, I'm sure they would take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, a manager, I mean, it's about results, I suppose, but I mean, I suppose they want their entertaining football as well, but I suppose you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
And Ben, can you see Sunderland going down as well, or do you think there's any hope for them with the new manager coming in? We don't know who it is yet, but
there's no hope. Simple as that.
Short and sweet, Ben. That's how I like it. Definitely. Right, so lads, enjoyed that. We'll move on to the final game. Ben's favourite team in the world, Tottenham Hotspur, got a 2-0 draw, or sorry, 2-2 draw at Swansea in Wales. I think actually Spurs were a bit fortunate to get that draw. Harry Kane scored a spectacular own goal in that game. Johnny, do you think maybe Spurs maybe seen a bit of form and get a 2-2 draw? I mean, a draw at Swansea is a good result. They haven't been in great form recently.
Aye, a draw was a very good result. I think both teams might have been taking a draw before the game started. For Spurs, it's a tough place to go, and Swansea were kind of in a little dip of form. I think Ericsson just got a point for Spurs on his own, like them 2 free kicks. Although maybe Fabianski, I might have felt he was in no man's land there. Like, I don't know what he was doing. The second free kick was a cracker. Draw was I think a draw may have been a fair result. But I think both teams will look at that and think point gained, let's move on after the international break. And I think both clubs will be in the same area of the table as well.
Ben, maybe will allow Spurs getting maybe it's like top 6, 7 maybe.
Spurs. It's where Spurs finish.
Average season for Spurs.
It's an average season for Spurs. Like they're ready. Like they're right. The only cup they could have won. Like so. No, in all fairness, no. Spurs have a good record against Swansea. That's a decent result. Swansea's a hard place to go. As you United fans know, that's a hard place to go. Fabian Ericsson scored 2 good.
Thanks for reminding me there, Ben.
No problem. But here we go there in 3 weeks' time, so if you can let me know how. No, Fabianski. I think Fabianski has to take a look at himself at his position. Like you build a wall to cover one side of the goal. You stay the other side. You don't go in behind the wall trying to judge a free kick. Let the wall do its job. If it goes up over it and beats you in the other corner, then hold your hands up and say, fair enough, that was a wonderful strike. But you don't build a wall. What's the point of having a wall and then you go and hide behind the wall? Like, flip me. But Harry Kane, I thought Harry Kane's goal of the season. That was just brilliant.
Oh, you would say that?
Well, I'll help get him more minus points in fantasy football, so, like...
Yeah, well, I mean, I have him in my fantasy team. He scored his own goal.
I have Fabianski. Like, I'd love to thank him for that great free kick save.
Johnny, what are you on about? You got 80 points or something from Aguero. You can't even complain.
I know, Fabianski just said, look, see them Aguero points, I'm going to absolutely deduct them off you here. I'm just going to let this go by me.
Oh, well. Could be worse with Harry Kane scoring no goals.
Wilson used to play for Arsenal.
So there we have it, lads. That's our Premier League coverage finished at this stage. Some fairly exciting games this weekend, maybe with the exception of United and Arsenal. This wasn't the most exciting for me. But we're going to get to the exciting bit now, lads, the international break, which normally we actually look to with disdain, as in, you know, we want to see Premier League football this weekend, but I think this time there's a lot of excitement around because Northern Ireland could qualify. Your team yeah. And then these lads here, the Republic of Ireland, we're in with a shot of qualifying automatically, but I think I'd take a 3rd place right now. You know, so we're going to start off with our big game against Germany at the Aviva tomorrow, and I just think if we get a goal or 2 in this game, we are flying. I don't care if we win or lose because I just can't see us getting anything off this German team the way they're playing at the minute. I mean, Scotland done right against them there a month ago, but I just think Germany could have scored a few more in that game just as easy. But a draw for me would be a brilliant result. I just can't see it happening. Would you agree with that? You know, not being too biased here, lads.
It's basically, I'm going to say this, it's basically like Sunderland. You've got no hope. No hope.
That's all right. Short and sweet. Johnny?
I don't think he'll win, but I don't think he'll get hammered, as a lot of people are saying. You know, Germans are going to look at it. Going to the Republic, it's a tough place to go. You know, like if the crowd down in Dublin are up for that game, they'll never go up for a game the rest of their lives. You know, you're playing the world champions. Germany will win 2 or 3-0, but 2-0 I think. But I don't think it'll be a 5-1 again or 6-1 again. Seamus Coleman's a big blow. I think if you can play, if you can try and work it out as best you can and try and keep a few players fit for the Polish game, I think on Tuesday or Sunday, is it? Sorry.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. I think that'll be a big plus. I think if you can try and keep it competitive and keep a lot of players fit for the Sunday game, I think he'll take it.
Like I don't want to be rude, Johnny, but like the Germans just have to just keep reminding themselves we are world champions, we are the best team in the world. Like I don't get me wrong, like Republic of Ireland is a hard place. Down to Dublin's a hard place to go, but like it's Germany for goodness sake. Like they have Muller, also Schweinsteiger, Gundogan, like I think Royce is back, and that's Royce is back, and like Ballarami, like Boateng, Neuer, like I'm not trying to be rude here, but like
world-class player. I mean, I know what you mean.
Like I know, like the Republic will probably get in like the first 5-10 minutes where they'll be like going like they'll be like headless chickens running around, right? Let's snap into Schweinsteiger, let's snap into Ozil, let's not snap into the Muller. But like
I would honestly, I just snap them all. Honestly.
I feel like
everyone. See as Ozil score the ball, I just snap them. Honestly.
I would like also like Ozil will be like Glenn Mignon will be able to try to make that tackle and Glenn Mignon will be making that tackle in the next minute as also be able to run up the pitch. Like
I wouldn't be surprised if Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane told the players to do that. You know, that's the kind of
I would have to agree with you, but like I just think the Germans are so much a standard above everybody else. Like the football just always like but I just don't see how the Republic will try and get in the faces, but the Germans just move that ball so quickly that they'll not be able to get.
I think the Germans will win, but I don't think it'll be an onslaught that everyone's predicting. I still
have nightmares.
That's a great game, Johnny.
That last time Germany visited the Viva, I still have nightmares from that game. I was watching that, and that was one of the most poor performances I've ever seen in my life. Don't get me wrong, the Germans were absolutely fantastic. Reusing scored a couple that day. He was fantastic. Schweinsteiger, all the rest. But I mean, I still have nightmares from that game. I hope we have covered ourselves with a bit of class this time, as opposed to last time. You know, lose 2-3-0, but not bloody 6-1 at home, in front of your own crowd. You know, it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, boys, Scotland are at home to Poland. I mean, if Poland can get a victory in that game, it won't even matter. Win or lose, we're through.
Yeah.
We're through in the qualifiers. So, I mean, that'll be a big game in Glasgow too. So, I mean, do you think Poland can get something? Lewandowski in great form, or do you think Scotland maybe will definitely go out with a lot of confidence?
God forgive me saying this, I fancy Scotland. I swear, I fancy them. I really do think that this is why.
You fancy them, or do you want them to win?
No, I fancy them, but this is why I fancy them. They know this is their cup final, because see if they win that match, they're going to finish third because they'll beat Gibraltar. Like my primary school team could beat Gibraltar. Right? let's face it. Korean could beat Gibraltar. I'm not being sarcastic. They would honestly. Why teams like that are even qualifying? You know, like what good are they going to see scoring one goal and conceding about 96? You know what good does that do? Honestly, they don't even. I think they play their matches in Portugal. They don't even play their matches in Gibraltar. Sure, that's like us playing our matches in France. Like, what's the point? Anyway, that's beside the point. I think Scotland will beat them. I don't ask me why. Just short and simple. I think Scotland will.
Ben, would you go along with that, or I mean? Big Robert Lewandowski seems to be in great form at the moment. He seems to be unstoppable. If he scores,
but he can't keep on scoring.
Well, Lewandowski is different because Bayern Munich's like superstar after superstar after superstar. So he's playing the team. Poland, like apart from like probably your boy that plays for Sevilla, that Cruyff, like Poland like are a good team, but like they're not like Lewandowski could like score one, but like Scotland, like I think I agree with Johnny. Like Scotland, like say it's like 0-0 going into half time with Poland, and they hear that you're getting beat like 2-0 say to Germany at half time, then their tails are going to be up and going right 45 minutes because like as Johnny said, like they're going to actually go to a Gibraltar and absolutely smash them. Like every team can do that. Like I say, if you put like a 5-a-side team of me, you, Johnny, Peter, and Cove, like flip me, we can even beat Andorra. Like,
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, even with his dodgy knee, like, but like we could beat Andorra, like. Or not Andorra, like Gibraltar, like well, we probably could beat Andorra as well. But that's not beside the point. Like, but if Scotland win tomorrow night, which if I flick through the channels and I see Scotland win, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Yeah. But that Georgia result absolutely killed them because I just think like we wouldn't be even talking about this stage. But it wouldn't surprise me if Scotland won tomorrow night because Scotland that. I know it's the same with the Republic. The Republic will be up for it. Scotland will be up for it, and like if Scotland take their chances, like Scotland I think could beat that team. But
I agree.
Poland's a good side. Poland's a good side.
What do you think? Go ahead, sorry.
No, continue, Johnny.
What do you think? You know, I think if correct me if I'm wrong, if Scotland win both their games, if Scotland draw and win, and Ireland lose both their games, Scotland go above Ireland.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine an hour into the game tomorrow night and say Germany are 2-0 up against the South, and Poland or Scotland or Poland are 0-0. What do you do if you're going striking? You know, like that's it's small. It's going to be small margins, and you know, I
I
think
think
I think if they know, I also think they'll play for a draw, and I think
Germany
that
would.
I
Sorry.
think I think that could nearly kill Scotland. It's going to be. Whenever I seen the group, you just knew that was going to be down to the wire because so you've got the South on a bad side, Scotland on a bad side, and Poland and Germany probably a bit better than the rest of them. But I just don't know. Like the likes of Georgia and Gibraltar, you're thinking try and get 6 points against these two teams, and that's what's really killed Scotland at the end of the day.
That's what.
If Scotland don't qualify, it's because of their own fault not beating Georgia.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the second round doesn't even matter to me. I mean, we play Poland on Sunday in Poland, but I mean, I'm just thinking now I'm going to watch Poland and Scotland now. Tomorrow, I'm just going to be thinking, it could be over tomorrow if Poland get a victory,
Yeah.
and it'll not matter on Sunday then. Do you know what I mean? It could just be over tomorrow, but at the end of the day, I can't see us getting anything off Germany, and then I can see Gibraltar getting absolutely hammered at home by Scotland. So, I mean, it is as Johnny mentioned, fine margins, and I think we'll do it. I think we can go to Poland and get a point, to be honest with you. But it'll not be easy. And I can see Poland getting a point off Scotland as well tomorrow. So I can see us doing it, and I can see us, I mean, knowing our luck, we'll get a very, very difficult qualifier, if we do finish third. So it's fine margins, and fingers crossed we can do it. So as just boys, well, Northern Ireland, we'll move on to them right now. You're playing Greece tomorrow, and I mean, if you just don't qualify now, it's an absolute disaster. I mean, Greece were top seeds in that group to begin with, and they're rock bottom. They've been absolutely woeful. They've changed the manager a couple of times, I think, and just done them no good whatsoever. I mean, Johnny, would you expect anything other than a victory tomorrow?
I think this is going to be really hard. I've just got a really bad feeling it's going to go down the final game against Finland. Greece are bottom of the group, beat by a fair amount twice, but they're no mugs. Like, honestly, they don't score many, but they haven't conceded that many either. I think they're without Manolas from Roma, Papadopoulos from Leverkusen at the back. Now that's a big plus, but then we've got no Kyle Laverty, no Chris Baird, no Conor McLaughlin, no Johnny Evans. Them four players, they would walk into our team. We're lucky that Gareth McCauley would walk over stones to play for Northern Ireland, so he'll be back in. The big question for Mike O'Neill is who do you play at right back, who do you play to replace Baird in the middle of the park, and who do you play up front? Personally for me, I play Paddy McNair at right back. He'll not be as good going forward as McLaughlin, but there's no real other options in there unless you play maybe Aaron Hughes, but Aaron Hughes is probably about 90 now. And then in the terms of midfield, I would probably play Corey Evans in there just because he's played in there before. Not a great footballer, but he works hard. In terms of up front, I've seen McGuinness mentioned, Boyce mentioned, Mackay mentioned. I actually don't think he'll play any of them. I reckon he might play Jamie Ward through the middle, McGinn out the left and Dallas out the right, and just try and contain them. Personally, I'd be inclined to play that, but if he was going to go with version up top, the original one, I would probably play Liam Boyce just because he's bang on form. Josh McGuinness, and he's a footballer. Josh McGuinness, he's just a battering ram. If I was to make a score list, I think it'll be a draw. I actually think it'll be a 0-0.
I mean, a 0-0 is all you need, isn't it? So I mean, you'd be happy enough with that.
No, we need 2 points.
2 points.
Yeah, we need to. If we draw tomorrow night and draw in Finland, we're through. But I'll honestly need about 34 pair of boxers. So it'd be nice if we can just get it. It'd be nice if we can just get it done tomorrow night. I think the home form. I think because we're at home, it'll give us an added boost. But whenever I look back at it, now Kyle Laverty missed a chance against Romania from about 8 yards, last kick of the game. That goes in. We've qualified. At the same time, that last minute goal against Hungary. Hungary, they're home to Faroe Islands. You would expect they'll beat them. I think they will beat them. Faroe Islands are no mugs anymore, but I think they'll beat them. But then they're away to Greece, so technically, Hungary still have to win their 2 games, and that's not going to be easy. So we've got Northern Ireland definitely have everything to be optimistic for, but at the same time, it's Northern Ireland. We've never qualified for the European Championships. We're going to feel a wee bit nervous. So I think we'll get it done, but I think it'll have to be done in Finland.
Ben, do you think tomorrow will actually go into the wire for Northern Ireland, or do you think it'll be a victory, an easy victory?
You just never know with us. I probably would say I probably would go more in line with a draw tomorrow as well. Now I know Greece haven't been playing well, but there's still some good players in that team. Like I think Manuel lost to Papadopoulos is a big miss for them. But like we just never seem to do anything easy. Like I think we had like most of the control against Hungary. Then McGivern like sample across and like his mom on it's like Flabianski, it's like the hands and there you are, you give it to like the Hungry boy and he taps it in like Kyle Laffer like honestly saved our back in that night. But like Johnny's probably nailed in the head. Like who do you play? Like I honestly would play Paddy Manera as centre half, but like you can't really like I know you're giving me that look. I was like, but,
Well, then who'd you play right back? Cathcart or Macaulay?
like I would Macaulay's definitely gonna play centre half. You just can't like Macaulay's got that experience. Like he's a big time player, but like I would honestly probably play. I don't know if you're talking about the more night and experience. Well, I know he's not as quick and mobile, and I know he's playing Australia, but like Aaron Hughes, I think's probably like that kind of guy. Just basically tell him you do not do not cross the halfway line, and you just keep your shape. But I know because we all know Johnny, we know Kyle Lafferty and Conor McGivern and Baird would all be starting tomorrow night. But you're just gonna have to say to these boys, right, get us to the Euros. I honestly think he'll play. Is it Josh McGuinness or
Yeah, McGuinness.
I think he'll play McGuinness up front just basically so they can at times they just launch that ball up to him and hold it up. Because I don't think Northern Ireland will have a go. They'll be trying to set pieces, corner kicks, but I want us to do it tomorrow night. But I could honestly, if we don't qualify from here now, I don't think we go to the Euros because I think we'll not do it in the playoffs.
If we don't qualify in the next 2 games, I'm for the bar.
I mean, it's so hard to know, isn't it? But I mean, if Northern Ireland throw this away now, they've only got themselves to blame.
Oh,
I mean, that top 2 spot is absolutely there for the taking. I mean, you could have Hungary putting some pressure on you, but I just can't see them. I mean, I can see US actually winning tomorrow against Greece because that Greece team is so poor. The thing, as Johnny did say, he's expecting an 0-0. That's a typical Greek result, isn't it? I mean, that's probably a possibility. I can see US actually winning tomorrow and securing qualification. Even before the final game's played, you should play Finland in that final game away, so that won't be easy. I mean, you'd just be in party mode then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Lucky for some, anyways, getting confirmed early if it does happen for you. But no, you play Finland the second game, and Romania are playing the Faroe Islands, and I mean, surely you should be thinking it's confirmed at that stage.
You like to hope so, anyway, wouldn't you?
Well, that's right. They confirmed before Finland.
Yeah.
It'd be nice, but I reckon I'll have to go to Helsinki and get a draw.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but whenever you go to Helsinki, we'll have Laverty back, Baird back, and McLaughlin back. Or sorry, McLaughlin back. So I know I'd just rather get it done in Belfast.
Just get it done, dusted, because going to a place and needing a draw, a draw is a dangerous result. Because if you know you need to win, you're going out for a win. Saying, well, get a draw. Draws always if you get say you're 0-0 in the 80th minute and you go we're getting the job done. Then that team scores with say 10 minutes to go. You're going, oh crap, we have to go and score a goal here with 10 minutes. Leave yourself open for the counter attack, and then our team come and expose you. So. Just get it done, dusted tomorrow night. I hope so, but I don't think it will. I think we'll go. I think I'm great with Johnny here. I think you just see visions of it going to Finland on Sunday and going putting us through the mill.
Yep, that's what I think will happen.
No, to be honest, I can see you doing it. I can honestly only see one team from this island going to the Euros in France next year because I can just see us, if we do even get a 3rd place spot, I can see us getting a really hard game.
Everywhere we go!
Everywhere we go!
2 Northern Ireland fans if you hadn't guessed. But yeah, I mean, I can see it happening, and I can see maybe us, if we do get through, we'll squeeze through to France, but fingers crossed we can get both teams in this island through. There'll be some party then, wouldn't it, in France? Or riot, whatever way you look at it.
Part 2.
Very quickly, we'll move on. There's no point even talking about England because they, as usual, got a very, very easy group and strolled through. They're already in France. And Wales, I think Wales is at a point away from qualification. So they're playing Bosnia away, which is a hard game. But I mean, you can see the form they're on. I think they're ranked above. I think they're ranked 8th in the world. I think they're ranked above.
They're above.
Is it or
they're above England. That's mad. Them rankings are brutal. Them rankings are brutal. Wales, I can see them nicking a point at Bosnia, but it doesn't matter anyway. They've got Andorra at home.
Yeah.
How many Cernuts at home anyway, so they'll beat them.
Yeah.
They're as good as 3. It's that for the game against Bosnia is irrelevant. They try and get a draw in and be a bit of confidence. Maybe rest Bale half an hour to go, Ramsey half an hour to go if they're getting beat 2 or 3-0.
You see them winning by 4 or 5 goals against
Aye,
Andorra.
aye, it's all down to Andorra in my opinion, and they'll beat Andorra no bother. So they're 3.
Is it mad that I think Wales are the most entertaining home nation that we have? Like Wales, I just for some reason I just like the way Wales play. Like, it's probably because I think
Ramsey.
Ramsey and Beale, like but then there's good players in around that. Like Hale Robson Canny's not a bad player. I know he's championship standard, but he pulls the ball up well. Like Ashley Williams, I think Ashley Williams is the most underrated player in the Premier League. Wade Hennessy, and then you have Ben Davis and Neil Taylor, and that's good. That's a good team, and they like to get the ball forward. Like if Bale and Ramsey get going, that team can. Johnny, I know you're saying the rankings, but if I think you're to say right, Wales England play a one-off match, I think Wales will beat them. I really do.
No. I mean, I think if England get up for a game against Wales, England will beat them. I think now Wales will qualify, and I think Wales will struggle in the group, as we did Euro 2012. I know we got a brutal group in that. We got, I think it was Spain, Italy, and Croatia, and we got absolutely pumped by all 3. So
Darwin would win that group.
I'm sure you would. I'd like to see you try. I mean,
Spain 82 again.
Giovanni Trapattoni got some abuse at that stage, but I mean that group was absolutely brutal. I wouldn't attach much.
That was the toughest group you could have got.
You couldn't have got a harder group than that.
Croatia is your 3rd place team.
I couldn't believe that, but whatever, lads. Well, best of luck, anyways, to all the home nations, with the exception of Northern Ireland. I'm only joking now. You'll get through. You'll do it. Fair play. Good luck to all you. And that's the end of the show, anyways, lads. We're going to look forward to a great week of football now, internationals, and hopefully Ireland can do it against Germany and Poland. Well, it's not very likely against Germany, but hopefully against Poland, and hopefully Poland can do the stuff against Scotland and Northern Ireland. Maybe get a wee victory tomorrow, secure qualification. You wouldn't know.
Hopefully.
Well,
lads, nice to have you on. Anyways, for our 2nd episode, I don't know how long it'll be before a 3rd one. It could be a week, could be a month.
This time next week. Put it in your calendar.
The best timekeepers I've ever seen, so I wouldn't count on it.
Listen to him.
But thanks to John McNabb, and thanks to Ben Galbraith, and I'm Dermot Brogan, so we'll just have to see you next week. Alright?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good luck. Thanks for listening.